Do you suffer from paralysis analysis? Let's talk about it and let's get real with this subject because this is a deep one. Uh, the paralysis of analysis, it's a real thing. A lot of people really struggle, and I struggle with it. You can see I'm going to put a picture up here. This is when I started my YouTube channel, and it's been about 4 or 6 years that I started posting. And my first YouTube channel, it was my second channel, and I did gaming content on that. Because I was a part of a big group. We used to play Dawn of Titans, and I was a part of a big group on there. So we had a big Discord and all that. And so I made videos on how to play and how to sort of manipulate the system on how you can farm and XP and get relics and gems and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah. So I've been trying to do this channel. This is my main channel right here, but it was called Chef Luchador. Where I actually came out in a wrestling mask, and yeah, and I was trying to teach people how to cook, but not a lot of people want to know how to cook unless it's like from a female or from somebody that has a fancy kitchen and stuff like that. I don't, so that I quit doing that. Um, but yeah, and so I've been trying to do this for a very long time already. I remember I've been wanting to make content since Vines were a thing in something called E-Bombs World. If anybody remembers E-Bomb World, I made like one or two vines for that over there, and that's where it just stayed. I didn't really get no views, no hits or nothing. I've been wanting to make content since Halo 3, Gears of War. Um, uh, way back then. I've always thought with the paralysis of analysis, and the thing with the paralysis of analysis is that the whole analyzation, the whole numbers comes up. The how much money is it going to cost? How much time is it going to cost? What kind of camera am I going to use? What angles? I don't know how to edit. I got to learn how to edit. The edit has to be perfect, and not nobody's going to watch it. And so yeah, and so I just stayed stuck in this time frame where I've I've been constructing all this stuff for 20 years, and I'm barely on step one. So my advice would be is just to step into the abyss, explore the unknown, and once you explore the unknown, it's not unknown no more. So now it becomes familiar, and able to actually walk through and not be so intimidated of the unknown because you've actually walked in it. And I think that's the deal with the paralysis of analysis, because I've been wanting to start a business too. I just don't know where to start, and it leaves me paralyzed because I don't know where to start. And so I've been doing some research. Like I've been wanting to open my own business. I want to get like a little. I would like a food truck, but I'll start from the beginning. I'll start from the bottom up. Do some fundraisers, probably like a little bit of caterings, private parties, or something like that. The paralysis of analysis, it's a very real thing. It'll drag you down. This is what keeps you. I want to say it's in the same category as a procrastinator, but a procrastinator, it's someone that knows what they need to do, they just don't want to do it. The paralysis of analysis is somebody that wants to do it but wants to do it perfect. So that's my issue. I got both fucking issues. I'm a procrastinator and I do got paralysis of analysis because I will be there just trying to calculate everything. I try to make everything into a problem, and a problem has numbers, equations, and stuff like that, and so yeah, so I've been struggling with that, but I'm trying to move forward with that, and I'm trying to push out this content. I got a lot of content that I still need to make, especially my days for out of 30 for my cardio and stuff like that. I have been doing that. I've been keeping up with it. It's everything's been backlogged. I fixed my truck when it broke down again. The mechanic forgot to put these fuel retaining clips into the fuel pump and the evap system. So I have gas pouring all over. My truck stopped in the middle of the road yesterday. So I'm waiting for the parts to come in, the little clips on the Ford Expedition. So from there, hopefully I can push forward. Not let this be a hard situation. And even with that fixing the truck, I'm not a mechanics, so I suffered with the paralysis of analysis because I was trying to figure out like how I can do this technically, on a technical level, but a mechanic just gets in there, and so I started trying to put the puzzles together. I figured out how to take out my radiator, and then I changed out the upper hose, and then the lower hose, the gasket tore in it or something, so I couldn't figure it out, and then I just said, F it, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the whole hose. I went ahead and replaced the hose, and so now the radiator system's fine, but it's back to the fuel system. Those retaining clips either broke or he didn't put them in. So now, yeah, I was coming home, and the whole fuel system under the fuel pump area, all the hoses just popped off because of the pressure because there's no retaining clips. So yeah, I got pulled on the side of the road. I had to wait for somebody to come and help tow me back to the house, and so now my truck's just parked right there. So now I can't go nowhere. I've been wanting to do food reviews and stuff like that. Like I said, guys, I do a lot of stuff, and the only thing I don't like, my issue is that I don't have a paralysis of analysis when it comes to making shit, and that's my problem because right now, like this is my Fitbit right here. They didn't have a band, so I went ahead and made one. So now I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna make a. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it and dye it and stuff. Like I don't have an issue making stuff. That's where I'm like getting like why am I like that? I got an issue making content on here. But my thing is like, do people even want to learn how to do this? Like, like there's a lot of other people that do it like 100% better. So that's why I don't even bother with it because I'm not even I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none. I just know a little bit. And the one thing that I do is that I haven't done in a while is I handwrite. I do handwriting, and so because I do handwriting, I went ahead, like I make my own pins. You know, like I make this pin, I make this pin. Like they've just been there for a long time, but yeah, there we go. It's just an epoxy pen with marbleized pigment on it on a roller ball. And here's another one. You know, I'm missing my blue one. My blue one's the best one, but this is the stuff I don't have paralysis with. If I want to make something, I'll go ahead and make it, and that's my problem. Is like, why am I like that? You know, and so yeah, so that like all my fishing stuff. Like I do a lot of fishing. I make my own fishing rods. I make my own leaders. I make my own weights. Like I wanted a small pin lathe so I can make my own cigar lures, like a super spook cigar lure. Yeah, so I can make something like that and go catch fish by myself. I do a lot of woodworking stuff. I punch leather. But my thing is that maybe I do have paralysis of analysis because I see, well, somebody else does it better than I do. So why would my opinion even matter if I'm trying to do something? uh that's where my mind is at on stuff like that. But yeah, man, I mean, if you'd want to learn how to make some of these pins, I can make a video on how to do that. Or I was thinking about making a fishing rod, but yeah, right now I'm working on this watch strap for my Fitbit. I'm just gonna punch it and make it a little bit better. But yeah, the paralysis of analysis, it's what's going to keep a lot of people down because of it's stepping into the abyss, stepping into the unknown, jumping off the cliff without looking. And I suffer from that, and I tell a lot of these young kids that I hang out with when I was going to school and stuff like that, and when I work with them, is don't be afraid, just jump. You know what I mean? Just do it. I really appreciate everybody watching this, liking, subscribing. If there's something you want to see me do in the comments, let me know, man. I really appreciate all the feedback, especially when I do my reaction videos. Some people be getting down on the comments. I really appreciate that, man. That's what I like. I like to interact with the people that watch my shit. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. And that's what I that's all I gotta say about that right there, man. Take care of yourselves. At the end of the day, no one's gonna take care of you but you. Hey, just step into the mist, man. The paralysis of analysis, it's a real thing. I hope you can find the courage to step into the unknown. It's difficult in the beginning, especially if it comes with a level of failure. It's gonna be hard. I'm not even fucking lying. It's gonna be hard. I still struggle with it, but the good thing about it is that once you fail, you understand what you did to fail, and so now you can do the same thing, but not the way that made you fail. So it allows you to actually progress and move forward. And I'm a problem solver. So once that happens, like with my radiator, I was trying to figure it out. Change out the radiator, it kept on leaking. Change out the upper hose, it kept leaking. I put the new radiator in, it kept leaking. And then I found out that there was like a fucking like a half-inch hairline crack on the seam that ran along the radiator, and I really, really looked at it, and I started picking at it, and I was like, there's a fucking hole in here, it's not the hose, it's the radiator itself. So I changed out the radiator, the lower hose started leaking, so now I went and replaced that, and it's something that I never done. So it was like, you do get kind of intimidated, you do get scared when you face the unknown. When you look into darkness, the only thing that darkness can do is look back, and if it looks back, then smile and take on that challenge, learn how to solve that problem. And it's going to be hard, like I said. It's not going to be easy, man. It's going to be hard, but once you solve that problem, it doesn't become a problem no more. Now for me, for the rest of my time on this earth, I'll never be fucking trying to figure out how to change the radiator in the car. This is how you fucking do it. I've done it before. Like my suspension, I feel like I can tackle any suspension on a car. I've changed out the entire suspension on my truck, from the inner tie rod all the way to the ball joints, to the struts, the springs, the tie rods, the tow rods. I fucking did the alignment on my truck itself. I took it to Firestone, and they said, bro, like, it's fucking spot on. And so, yeah, I've done that. So I'm not scared no more to do the suspension on a car or a vehicle, because I've already done it. Brakes, I've done brakes in my truck already. I already know how to do the brakes. The only thing I need help with is bleeding the brakes, because I don't really know how to bleed the brakes by myself. But my brother was a brake mechanic when he was younger. So he comes over and he teaches me all that stuff. And a good thing also is, if you're trying to learn something like that, where you have this paralysis analysis, find someone that's already done it, and see if you can like tag team a project that you're trying to do or something. And the other day, me and my brother were trying to change out his garage doors from some old, dirty, beat up wooden doors to some aluminum doors that are light. And we figured it out. So we figured that out, and that's what I like hanging out with my brother, because we'll always figure, like we never done nothing like the other, a while back, about a year ago, we tore off all his laundry room, and we put all new flooring on it, and all the way to the linoleum. And we've never done it before, but how hard can it be, right? My brother's always the one to step into the unknown without looking. But at the end, like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get stuck. So it's always better to have a second opinion, have a second mind, another set of eyes looking at it. um if not, just jump, man. I still recommend that you just jump into it, especially if it's something small. um but something small for you, for me, it's probably going to be something big for you, and vice versa. So just don't be afraid, you know what I mean. Just take that leap. The paralysis of analysis, like I said, I'll be here trying to figure out, oh, okay, well, the setup got to be like this. It's gonna end up costing me like $4 or $5,000 just to get started, but it don't. I got my iPhone, I got some cheap little ring camera, I got a green screen in the back, I got a tripod, that I got from like I think I got this tripod from the Goodwill for like $4 or something, and I got this microphone. I think I bought it like on eBay for like 13 or 14, $16 or something like that. So from that, just go ahead and just make the leap, take the leap of faith, and just move forward with it. The best thing, I think the best thing you can do is fail. I don't expect this video really to get any views because it's going to be over 15, 20 minutes long. I'm already looking at about 24 on runtime. But yeah, that's all I got to say about this. The paralysis of analysis. Just start. You know what I mean? I think that's the best thing you can do is just start, look fear straight in the eye, and just push forward, persevere. And I'm gonna be an example because I've been trying to do this since 2008. Uh, at the end of the day, take care of yourselves. Join the conspiracy. Fly with the murder. I'm out.